Have you ever felt your body freeze and your voice disappear during a humiliation? That moment when their words, sharp as glass, cut through the air and instead of a response, all you find inside yourself is a vast, heavy emptiness. In this video, we'll understand why this isn't weakness, but a protective mechanism, and how to take the first steps to reclaim your voice. Your heart is here, seeking an answer for a silence that deafens, for a paralysis that takes over your limbs, your soul. It's a feeling of being trapped in your own body. You blame yourself for being weak, for letting it happen, without understanding that this paralysis might actually be a protective cocoon, a sacred space your body creates to defend you. This is not a silence of peace, but a silence of storm. On the outside, you're motionless, perhaps with a vacant stare, but inside, a hurricane of emotions rages uncontrollably. Shame, pain, anger, and a deep sadness. Each humiliation is like an anchor thrown upon your spirit, sinking you a little deeper into the icy waters of helplessness, making you question your own worth. Let's begin our journey by understanding the first part, the root of silence. Why does your body freeze? Often after it happens, you ask yourself why you didn't react. Your mind replays the scene 1,000 times, creating perfect comebacks, witty lines you wish you had said. This guilt for not defending yourself adds to the pain of the offense, creating a vicious cycle of self-criticism. The truth, dear angel, is that this paralysis is a protective mechanism. Your nervous system, facing an emotional attack it perceives as a real threat, goes into freeze mode. It's a primitive response, the same one an animal uses when facing a predator, hoping that immobility will make it invisible. Your body is trying to protect you in the only way it has learned. But why did it learn this specific response? Why, instead of fighting or fleeing, does your soul choose to petrify? This reaction wasn't born in a vacuum. It was sculpted by past experiences, by old wounds that still echo in the present. Often, the origin of this immobility lies in our history. Think about your journey, about the voices that shaped you. Perhaps in childhood, expressing your anger or discontent wasn't safe. Maybe you learned that to be loved, you had to swallow your tears, silence your desires, and agree. Silence became synonymous with safety, and today's paralysis is just the echo of that old survival lesson. Every "don't be dramatic," "you're overreacting," or the simple indifference to your pain was a seed planted that today sustains this tree of silence. Now that we understand the root, we can move on to the second stage, the awakening of consciousness, leaving guilt behind. The catalyst for change is rarely a big, thunderous event. It's usually a whisper, a moment of clarity amidst the pain. It's that instant, perhaps hours after the humiliation, when you look at yourself in the mirror and no longer recognize yourself. It's the question that springs from the depths of your soul. Who have I become? This question is the true calling. This spark of consciousness is a gentle touch to awaken you. It doesn't judge you for the paralysis, but invites you to look at it with compassion. It's the first step to understanding that you are not weak, you are wounded. And here, the metaphor reveals itself. The paralysis is not a prison, it's a cocoon, a place that, though restrictive, protected your vulnerable essence. Recognizing this dynamic is painful, but absolutely liberating. It's the moment you stop blaming yourself for the reaction and start investigating the cause. The paralysis ceases to be a character flaw and reveals itself as a symptom. And when we know the cause, we gain the power to begin the healing. The journey to dismantle this armor of ice is not a race, but a gentle walk with yourself. The first realistic step is not to confront the one who humiliates you, but to confront the silence within you. In front of the mirror, say out loud, "My feelings are valid. My voice matters." The process requires you to become an observer of yourself. When the paralysis arises, instead of diving into shame, try to name what you're feeling. I am feeling fear. I am feeling my body freeze. This practice separates you from the emotion, giving you space to breathe. Healing also flourishes in expression. Start writing. Keep a journal and pour out everything you couldn't say. Write furious letters that will never be sent. Writing is a safe way to give voice to what has been silenced. Gradually, this internal practice will begin to overflow. Maybe the first step won't be a big response, but a simple no. A no, don't talk to me like that. Or maybe it's removing yourself from the environment. Every small act of self-protection is a victory. Remember, there will be setbacks. In those moments, compassion is your greatest ally. Healing is not linear. The most sustainable goal is not the absence of pain, but the construction of an unshakable inner sanctuary, a place inside you that no one can desecrate. This sanctuary is built with bricks of self-love, self-knowledge, and healthy boundaries. Your transformation becomes visible in your choices. You start to distance yourself from people who belittle you, not out of anger, but out of self-preservation. Your energy, once spent replaying the pain, is now invested in nurturing your soul. The deepest lesson is realizing that your wings were never broken. They were just folded. The paralysis wasn't weakness, but your cocoon. A cocoon that, although it seemed like a prison, was actually protecting your most vulnerable essence as you prepared for metamorphosis. This experience, which seemed to be about humiliation, was actually a call for you, an invitation to come back home, to within yourself. The pain was the messenger, not the destination. The next time you feel the ice start to form, take a deep breath and remember this truth. You are the embodiment of resilience. You carry the strength of all the women who came before you and who fought to be heard. Your voice is sacred. Did the idea that paralysis isn't weakness but a protective cocoon make sense to you? Share this video and tell me in the comments what your biggest insight was. Subscribe to the channel to receive more words of healing and strength. And always remember, you are guided, protected, and immensely loved.